Around the time Spurgeon turned 1, his hair had gotten quite curly, and we didn't cut his hair until he was about 18 months old for the first time. And even then, it was just a slight trim. It wasn't chopping off the curls entirely. And then from there, we just continued to just cut, shape, kind of take it up around his ears when we would trim it. And that was about it. We really didn't give him a real haircut until he was probably 2.5. Now he gets a haircut probably every 2 to 3 months, and I'm going to show you how I cut his hair and what that looks like.
This is just the basic wall home hair cutting kit. I bought this cape from Amazon with the clippers and the attachments. It's kind of hairy and messy. And then I bought this from Amazon for just a few bucks. This is like Ben's beard trimmer. It's nice for like trimming at the hairline on the back of the neck and like going around the ears. And this is also wall brand. Alright, this is a 5-guard. Tip your head just like that.
That
Just going up slightly.
That tickles.
And kind of fading out here. Does it tickle?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go over the ear.
It tickles.
With curly hair, you often have to take it a few different directions to get it to cut.
That tickles, Mommy.
Oh. I'm going to go for the back of the neck. About 2 inches up. Go all the directions that these curls grow. So tip your head down. I took the clippers and I went this way up the hairline, and then I went this way about 2 inches, just about as wide as the clipper is. Went up, and I did over the ear. Keep looking at the tub. I did over the ear. I held the clipper a little bit out, and I went over the ear that way and up that way, just barely. Did the same thing, went all the way around the other side of the head. This one I've done Spurgeon over the ears with 5-guard and about 2 inches along the back of the neck here. For Spurgeon's hair, I want to keep more volume on top because I want to show those curls. I don't want it to get too short. Also, I want to keep bangs down on the front, and I always want to trim this longer than expected because when the curls dry, they'll be shorter, and I don't want them to have like a hairline all the way up here. Wet this down. I'm gonna comb this down. Ooh, got a lot of hair, Spurgie. You got a lot of hair.
Do it really fast.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Alright, now turn around and stick your legs through the chair. Right into the hole. There you go, good job. You can pretend like you're driving a rocket or a ship.
I'm driving a rocket that can go to the moon.
Okay, now I'm gonna take this here and try to find that hairline at the base where I faded in. Take it all the way down. And on Spurgeon, so on Henry I held my hand about maybe 2 inches out from the head. On Spurgeon I'm gonna go more like 3 at the top because I wanna keep a little more length and leave a little more room for his hair to curl up there. So take section, each of these sections are probably going to be about 1.5 inches wide or so. I get all the way down to that fade line. And take the next section over. Just sit still, buddy, okay? I'm going to go as fast as I can. Legs back under the table. Alright. Now we come to the side over here. Continue doing that, just taking the hair, not straight, turning my hand out, so as to give extra length for those curls. I wetted his hair down all over. I combed it straight down. Then I took the comb like this. Took a section about 2 inches wide. And I went all the way down to that clipper length, which was, I think it must have been a 5 guard or something. And then I held it out from the head. A pretty good angle. Take it on the side here. Pretty good angle out from the head so it would stay longer, because with curly hair it's going to curl up. It's going to look shorter than it actually is. The nice thing about curly hair is it also hides imperfections, so don't worry about that too much. Take it out from the head. Probably about this angle. Let's see. It's pretty far out from the head. You can always take off more afterwards, but you can't glue it back on. And then I just kept that angle out away from the head. Here at the top, that's probably about 4 inches from the head. So normally with the haircut, I would keep my hand kind of parallel to the head and then taper out just slightly at the top. But with the curly hair, you want it to maintain the curl at the top here. You want this to be clean, and you want to be able to trim here, and you don't want to trim the sideburns too short, but about there. You want to be able to see a line here, but you don't want to lose this wave and curl up here.
Little, little, big, cow, and a low, bellow, bellow, bellow.
Alright, now I'm going to take the hair on top, and the way I trim this is, again, I want it to be about 3 inches at the back, probably about 4 inches at the front. So considerably longer in the front. It's going to look like this. 4 or 5 inches at the front, maybe 2 or 3 inches at the back. Come this away, take the middle section. Section over.
Ow.
Sorry, Bubs. If you're new to cutting hair, then it will take a little bit of trial and error to get it just right. And that's the nice thing about cutting kid hair is when they're super young, there's a little more room for mistakes. You're not going to freak out. If you mess up a little on curly hair, it's probably not really going to show, so that's one nice thing. Alright. Again, tipping my hand upward, keeping a little more length as we get towards the front. So right now his hair is about down to his mouth, so it's pretty long on the front, but he also has pretty curly hair in the front, so if I were to cut it off to here, and it would curl up and it would look like he has short little bangs, so we don't want to do that. You can always go back and take more off, but you can't glue the hair back on. So if I always start by taking less off, then kind of let it dry a little bit, see how that's looking, and then take off a little bit more if needed. So here's for the front. I take this hair and I don't cut it up here, I pull it back. So I'm sure to get extra length left on there, because I know it's gonna dry into a tighter curl. So I pull this back and then trim it. All right. So I can see kind of how that's shaping up there. That's really about it. And then on top, I left it about probably 3 inches at the back, 4 inches at the back maybe, and about 5 inches at the front. because the most important part of the haircut is that you want this to follow, even though it's tapered to the edge, you want this to follow right above the brow when it's curled, not straight. So it would be up here, and he would have these short bangs that would look really odd with his curly hair. You want, if you're going to keep that boy band curly look, tapered at the sides, going out, and then keep the front long. So I take the angle at the top of the head, and the hair looks like this. I cut 3 inches or 4 inches or something, and then I go up. As I pull this hair up along here, I take the hair, and it gets longer and longer and longer up to the front of the head. So at the front of the head, the only way I cut this hair up here is I take it and I pull it back, and then I trim it. So that way it's sure to be a lot longer on the front than it is on the back. And then yeah, from there, if it still looks a bit long in any place, just slowly trim away, like, 1/4 of an inch, half inch at a time, until you get the shape that you want. So now the last thing I'm going to do is, just like on Henry's, we're almost done, and then you're going to get in the tub, and then it'll wash away all the little hairs, okay?
Okay.
So pull that hair over the ear. Alright. Comb it all kind of down and forward. I'm going to take this clipper. I may need to re-wet that hair a little bit. I just kind of clean up the hairline. Okay. Dip your head down. Keep it to the natural hairline as much as possible. Don't want it to be weird. Over this ear here, then he's gonna be done. So brushing that hair over.
Am I done yet?
Yes.
Almost is a long time.
No, it's not. You're almost done. Okay, then I just want to kind of scrunch that up and see how it's drying. So, all right.